This is Edge of Indy, showcasing Indianapolis tech trends, marketing industry champions, and business innovation. Broadcasting from Edge Media Studios. Now, let's get back to today's topic.
So if you weren't hungry enough with the restaurants that we have interviewed tonight, and this is the special edition of Yelp's Top 50 Restaurants in Indiana.
That's right. Places to eat.
Places to eat in Indiana. Right. Our final restaurant is we're a fan of, and they're kind of right down the street from us in downtown Indianapolis. That's Goose the Market, and we have Chris
Ely. Yes, sir.
Sorry about that. Chris,
no worries.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome.
Happy to be here.
Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Myself? Well, I don't know where to start. I grew up as a cook pretty much my entire life.
Oh, cool.
I've just cooked in restaurants and hotels, became a chef, and always been in food. I don't think I've had any other paying job besides being in food, except for maybe a paper route, mowing lawns. So pretty much always been around food, involved with food in some way or another. Opened a butcher shop in 2007.
I like the cut of your jib, sir.
Goose the Market, and had that for almost 10 years now. And then
fantastic.
6 years now we've had Smoking Goose. So, and that's a production facility where we produce charcuterie and cured meats and salumi. Yeah.
Be still my heart.
Let's give him a second.
Wow. So Smoking Goose, where is Smoking Goose exactly?
We're Dorman in Vermont, in the Holy Cross neighborhood, east side downtown.
Okay.
Right across from Flat 12,
right
you can get beer and meat.
Literally.
Right across the street. Yeah.
Literally about 10 minutes away from us.
Yeah. Very close.
I am going to have you in the crosshairs from now on, in the best way possible.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, that's
good
fantastic.
crosshairs.
Good
Right. That's good.
Good thing we changed our logo. So Goose is over here on Delaware.
Yes, sir.
25th in Delaware.
Yeah, northeast corner.
Okay, very good.
Our team is there all the time.
I know. I've seen you.
Yeah, we love it. And the counter that you have there with all of the meats.
Yeah.
I mean, they got the meats.
Oh, yeah.
Arby's has nothing on Goose.
All right.
You know? Why that type of it's not deli style. I mean, it is, but
Why
it
meats?
isn't.
Mm-hmm. Why meats?
No, that will never come out of my mouth. No. I'm okay with that. But I mean, what brought you to that type of restaurant?
Well, first of all, yeah, we definitely like to think of ourselves as more of a butcher shop, and charcuterie and cheese retail. But then, obviously, we do have a great service component of sandwiches and small plates and that sort of thing.
Yep.
The idea really, I mean, it's based around a neighborhood butcher shop. I mean, the heart of it is the place that you would stop on a near daily basis for meats, charcuterie, cheese, anytime you're entertaining. And that's that's kind of how we got to where we were. I mean, the focus for me was on the butchering, the smoking, and the curing of the meats. I did it very heavily in restaurants, put in a lot of plans in restaurants to do these types of things. It's just much more difficult to do it successfully in restaurants.
Right.
And I saw an opportunity to be able to do that on a retail, old school. I mean, it was, when we opened up, we lived above the market. I mean, it's true mom and pop. I mean, like, it was old, right on the corner. It's just, really the ideal way we thought a butcher shop should be. So.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I know you because literally I actually signed the lease to this building in your basement.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did. There's
Fond memories.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. So there's plenty of wine and beer involved. Right?
Absolutely.
maybe
My signature was a
afterwards.
little bit static.
Yeah,
there.
maybe a little afterwards.
So how is owning a restaurant? 10 years and going strong.
Yeah.
How's your experience?
Oh, it's great. I love it. I mean, I get to do, well, I don't always get to do what I want to do, but I mean, basically I get to try to do what I want to do with my time. And I really enjoy it. Honestly, I mean, what I really enjoy the most are obviously the people, the hospitality. I love like the culture of the butcher shop. I love like the culture of the neighborhood. I love seeing the neighborhood grow. We came into Fall Creek Place when it was under the urban redevelopment plan.
Yep.
It was kind of right in the middle of it. I've seen a lot of these families grow up in the neighborhood, come in with no kids or very, very young kids, and been able to watch them grow up. And in the Smoking Goose, it's just a whole nother deal because not only Indiana, but we also, are throughout the country. So it's enabled me to get involved in other communities
Sure.
other food scenes, work with other people, and it's been a lot of fun. It's not always fun, but it's overall I really love it.
Well, what kind of advice would you give somebody who comes to you and says, "Hey, Chris, I want to open a restaurant"?
Yeah, typically, and because it happens quite often.
Now, Ian says don't.
Don't.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely. I mean, you used to say, it's like, how about you give me $100,000? I'll punch you in the face and call it a day, and that was like pretty much that'll just save you the time, right? I try not to anymore. I try not to anymore because I mean, what I try to analyze, I think, when I talk to people about it, is really try to get the difference between passion and desire.
Yeah.
Passion, people have the passion; they love food. Like somebody I heard earlier said something about, if your wife likes to cook. Well, like everybody has a passion for. I mean, you need to eat. You like food in some way or another, and a lot of people have a passion for food, right?
Sure.
So, but passion's fleeting. Like passion doesn't get you through like 14-hour days, long hitch, and then you have people, leaving bad reviews for you on Yelp. So it's like those are tough days, and it's like the only way you get that kind of day is with the desire to make it work. I mean, that's the kind of thing that's gonna like get you past this point of like, oh, I like to cook, I like food. Well, that's nice, but it's like, are you really willing to put up with all the other stuff you have to deal with? Because like even in my life. I probably get to spend like 10% of my time actually doing something with charcuterie, right? And the other 90% of the time, I'm either like somebody's counselor, or I'm like,
you're playing the dad at the restaurant.
Facilities maintenance.
I was going to say, or you're fixing something.
Fixing
probably.
something,
Yeah.
trying to keep somebody out of jail, or trying to find product that's not there, or trying to fix mistakes, something we screwed up. And really, only 10% of my time, if that even. Do I get to like actually, do what I set out to do?
That ain't right.
Right. I know.
What percent of the time do you eat gelato?
Man, I don't. I've been eating ice cream like crazy lately. Like, not even just gelato, but I've been eating all kinds of ice cream. It's like I never used to be a sweets person, but now I have kids, and I'm like, oh man, I'm like.
Even the really bad stuff looks good.
Yeah,
Everyone, some of those ices and what have you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we could do that. Bomb pops, my son.
Don't call them out. Don't call it.
Yeah. So there's gelato quite a bit.
Even the push-ups, Anyway.
Oh,
Yeah.
push-ups.
Yep.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
That's
Yep.
a throwback.
like high school.
Yeah.
Middle school.
They still make them.
Right.
right.
Oh yeah. They're
Orange
good.
sherbet.
Yep.
Yep.
The Flintstones.
Yep.
The wheels have gone off the bus
Right.
here. You realize
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
Chris.
Bring it
Oh
back.
yeah.
Thanks
I
a lot,
realize that. Yeah. No, my pleasure.
So, pronounce the word again. Charcuterie.
Charcuterie.
Okay, and I actually have a little placard in my desk, but for charcuterie.
Charcuterie,
But for listeners who don't know what that is, just give us the explanation.
It's basically like the preservation of meat. So this
Right.
can be through curing, drying, aging. Typically, and sometimes it does involve heat, but it doesn't always. It's kind of the first known, record of us trying to preserve meat before
Right.
refrigeration. So that's kind of how it started.
Right.
And now it does involve some cooking. But essentially, with the focus, obviously the focus is the meat itself and the animal itself. There's a huge amount of respect for the animals and how they're raised. It kind of harkens back to the idea that, respect the people before you in the
Yep.
process, so the farms, the producers, the animals themselves. It's also all about being more resourceful and using the entire animal and not just focusing on just the center cuts of the animal.
Right.
That's better utilization of the animal. So it's kind of like the idea, the kind of the history behind it. Now, what you see mostly, you'll see charcuterie boards much more common on
Yep.
restaurant menus. Hopefully those mostly are charcuterie, and hopefully we can provide it if you don't have that on there right now. But that's So aging meats, curing meats, and I mean the great thing about it is. It does, has the shelf life. I mean, just by the nature of how it's produced, it has a nice shelf life.
Look at that.
There's some
Look
nice
at the
ones.
meat.
There you go. The mustard too.
Yeah. So yeah,
Fantastic.
That's it.
good stuff.
We had the opportunity to be at a charcuterie restaurant in northern part of Indiana last year, and I brought my family to it, and I got 4 kids. And they actually had a charcuterie with a boar's head, half boar's head on it as well. And it was so well done. It was fantastic. And some listeners, watchers are probably going, okay, what in the world are you talking about here? Yeah. It was fantastic, and the restaurant owner was so impressed with my kids. My 7-year-old was literally eating an eyeball.
Really?
It was awesome.
Right.
But it was fantastic, and it was just a work of art.
Yeah.
All of the different pieces, all the cheeses, all the different touches that they did, and you could see how much pride they had in what. So it's not a lost art. It's an art that is really gaining some great notoriety right now.
Right. It's really never gone away. It's just, it's always been there, always will be there. That's the nice thing about it, because although it may be really popular right now, it's not one of these things that's going to be gone in 5 or 10 years.
Yeah.
Hopefully this is only the beginning of it. So.
Well, I got another question for you. Before moving to Indianapolis, you and your wife opened 12 restaurants in less than 6 months. Is that correct?
Now, my wife was actually a counselor growing up. Her background's in counseling. So I did for other companies. So I was part of what's called a task force for a restaurant company, so opening new restaurants and then also going into restaurants that weren't doing so well within the company. So I opened quite a few like that. Opened 2 here in Indianapolis for a local gentleman.
Wow.
And then I opened 4 restaurants within 3 months on the north side of Chicago. So I did a lot of it. There for a while, that's pretty much, for about 6 years, that's really all I did. Almost every 6 months or so was in the process of opening other restaurants for other people. And then, it's kind of what led me to the point. One, I knew I didn't want to open a restaurant. That was for myself. I had seen too many people, not do so well.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, if it's gonna be my money or my name on it, like, I'm not gonna be one of those people. And then I kind of really, that's kind of how I picked more of this butcher and retail side of things, is that I got tired of doing it for other people. I got tired of this like constant drive to open restaurants for other people. I did enjoy it at the time, but it's also really not great for your personal life, and if you're ever going to have a family. So it's kind of, it was all just the right time, right place, and just.
That's a whole other skill set in its own right. I mean, be able to help and bootstrap and give guidance to restaurant owners to start up those. I mean, tip of the hat to you, man. So what's the difference between? What do you see as a perceivable difference between restaurants in Indianapolis and Chicago?
I think really kind of the nice thing about being so close to Chicago is we are fed quite heavily, both from the talent, the people that are coming from Chicago and moving either back home or just happen to be regionally close. But it's also a great place for people in Indianapolis to go and learn, whether it's a stage, a one-day cooking experience up there, they go up 2 days, or even just to go up and eat. It also helps educate the diner in Indianapolis, being able to go to, it was always New York City. It was like New York City, San Francisco. I mean, this kind of was that was it for like the longest period of time.
Right.
And, really Chicago didn't start to, I'd say like early 2000s when Chicago really started becoming big on the scene in terms of the restaurant. It was steak and potatoes like Indianapolis was up until early 2000. They had some very classic restaurants. True has been there for a long time.
Right.
Obviously there was Trotter's Place was there. So there was always a few, handful of these, but the number of restaurants now, I mean, just the number, like the sheer number of restaurants opening and honestly closing as well, but just the amount of talent there has really kind of, I would almost say it's rivaled New York, maybe possibly exceeding it. So now we have like within 3 hours, we have a place that people not only can experience, fine dining, casual dining, all different types of concepts,
right,
but we also have a lot of talent coming out of there. So it's not just you have to travel to New York City or San Francisco for that experience. So I think it's been a great influence on, I don't know that Indianapolis' dining scene would be where it is today if Chicago hadn't also kind of stepped
open
into
the
this.
door.
Yeah, absolutely. But you're seeing a huge rise in the food culture here in Indianapolis, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and that's it's been great to see it. It's kind of one of those things. I think if you would ask somebody in the early 2000s if this would ever happen in Indianapolis, they would have absolutely said no. And it's really cool to see it now, because even some of the people that were like the pioneers, like Peter George, that really, he was extremely successful and kind of, did hit a tough spot there.
Right.
And a lot of people said, hey, these places just can't make it. I mean, he's opening places now, and they're extreme. There's 2 on, I think you have 2 on the list.
Yep.
Yeah, 2 of his places are on the list again.
Festiva.
So, he took, I don't know, maybe 10 years off or so, and was doing some other things, but he's the kind of guy that, he's bringing new stuff to the city, and some great places. So.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, we certainly applaud your success, and we're certainly going to keep on coming over there from Site Strategics and partaking. And I got to check out the Smoking Goose. I absolutely have to.
Get those locker sales on Saturdays.
Yeah,
sometimes.
once a month.
That's a
once
good
a month,
deal.
yeah.
You go in there, go crazy.
Great. Yeah, that's great.
I absolutely
He will.
will.
He will.
Yeah.
So, lastly, what does your restaurant do to engage with its customers and encourage them to leave reviews on Yelp?
Just
Delicately.
high quality service. I mean, Dan, that's what we're all about. I mean, if there's nothing that we stress the most is that it's the customer experience, and for us, the focus is anticipating the guest needs. I mean, it's all this thing. All it is they are a guest in our house, and just we want to treat them like a guest, and we want them to be impressed. We want them to have a great time. And if we continue to do that, then we're doing our job. But that's really our focus. I mean, anybody can cook, anybody can cut meat, anybody if you really want to. But it's all about creating an exceptional experience,
Absolutely.
and that's what our how we would encourage people. I mean, I encourage just through the word of mouth. So
Yeah, that's the thing, and I think that's what we're coming across with everybody's interviews today. I mean, that's the common thread is that, and for restaurateurs that are looking to make the list, don't encourage.
Just do your job
just
well.
do your
like you
job
do.
well, and it will absolutely. Your customers know where Yelp is.
yeah,
They know the uses of Yelp, and just do your job. Show the care and the love that and the passion that you have in this industry, and it's certainly going to show up on your behalf in the Yelp positionings there. Fantastic. Well, any final thoughts for our the culinary realm of Indianapolis?
Oh, I really enjoyed this today. I mean, the culinary realm of Indianapolis, I can't wait to see what's coming. It's going to be really exciting.
Cool.
There's just a lot of talented people here. I mean, if anything, the one thing that we're missing that we could reach out to are the young cooks. We just don't have enough cooks in the city.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that want to open restaurants and that have great restaurants, but everybody's struggling to find cooks, and we're just not doing enough to support that next generation. So really, to see this last any longer than another 10 or 15 years, we really need to figure out what we're going to do with the next generation.
So how can we figure out a charcuterie Friday relationship with Goose and Site Strategics?
Hey, we're open every
Gelato,
Friday.
please.
Because Matt,
You know where to find them.
Yeah, we're there every Friday.
absolutely.
You can also order our products online. We'll ship it, and there you go. But yeah,
I really
we'd
want
love
you to ship it. I want a courier over here.
Oh yeah.
So we can literally have a great series of pieces of meat for the entire team.
Yeah.
A meat feast.
A meat
I think
feast.
they'd really enjoy getting out at 11 every Friday, not having to come back.
Well, you might actually going out now.
You guys can just come over and hang out.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris.
Drink the rest of the day. We'll get you taken care of.
Okay, so we're going to
We'll
finish
get
up the
you
show. Well, fantastic. Thank you so much, Chris, and I appreciate your time today. And we'll
My
certainly, since we're neighbors, we'll certainly jog over there regularly.
Yeah.
So good.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, more than welcome. And congrats for all your success. All right, that's what we've got as a wrap for this show. Brittany Smith, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you for
able to
having all of us.
bring everybody together. This was a red letter day for Edge of Indy. Made me very, very hungry. in the
I
should
should have
process.
brought time
Food
to
with
eat.
me.
Time to eat.
Yeah,
That's right.
that was one demerit is that I didn't see one plate come up. Now we've had a lot of steak
Should
companies.
have told us.
Yeah.
It was in
Brought
the
some
invite.
stuff.
I didn't want to encourage. All right.
Authentic experience.
Exactly.
Right.
Now
all
they
right.
know for next time.
Absolutely.
Right.
So, Brittany, thank you so much for this opportunity.
for having all of
we
us.
Certainly want to get plugged into
fun.
these restaurants. Absolutely. So, go check out the list at Yelp Indianapolis and look at all top 50. Go experience all top 50. Make this part of your next 6 months to go out and check out these restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
They certainly earned it. They show their passion, that they show their love of what they do. So, partake. I mean, this is the food culture of Indianapolis. It's on the rise, and be part of it. So choose local and choose it often. How about that?